Board games, board games. I might be talking about board games that I've made, but I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing, and I'm going to talk about some games I played yesterday, and I've enjoyed them. One of them I did make, and I'll talk about not very much stuff. I'll go on for just a few minutes. I'm playtesting today, so that's long enough. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. I'm Bez. It's 10 a.m. UK time. Time for Bezzy Beats and Board Game Leather. And yeah, what I'm talking about today is just um, what I've been up to yesterday. So, recent highlights, living life and seeing sights. Recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights. I'm going to talk about um, yesterday. And the night before, I got lots of drawing done. I mentioned that yesterday morning. I'd been doing a lot of colouring in, finishing all the colouring in. I was quite happy with how it went. I mean, I'm not saying like some of them had issues, some of them the lines had issues, but there were definitely some of the drawings that were like, yeah, I'm happy with how that turns out. And so yes, I'm excited to have that all sent to Jack, who is going to help me by scanning them all, putting them into a card layout, and hopefully making it look nice, and helping me assemble a game about quickly grabbing cards and judging them against free descriptions. There's maybe a little bit less speed in that game than the title suggests, but yeah, hopefully people will enjoy it. And I'm excited to get it out there because it's all well and good playtesting stuff with a closed group at playtest events and things. But when it's actually, hey, this is a finished game, and hey, you can buy it if you want, I feel like that's far more the proof of the pudding in whether people will actually play it, enjoy it, and even buy it because they want to play it again. Because even though I do price the first edition Betty Bargain Bag very cheaply, it is still an opportunity cost, and people wouldn't take them if they didn't enjoy them. Also, not just about the proof of the pudding, but also and validation or whatever, but also about me bringing it out there. And I'm going to be trying to be fairly public in that the first editions, these are quite a limited thing. I'm going to print like 50 of them, but you'll get something special, but the future editions might have some small improvements as I realize, hey, wait a minute, um, I've now got enough interest that it's worth me redrawing some of these things. We also played Connect for Flip. I thought this was brilliant. I mean, you're putting stuff anywhere on the grid, then you spin that column. And that's in every single column is a spinner. So you spin it round, it's got to spin at least twice, and it ends up randomly on one side or the other. And because there's a center of gravity, and because the pieces you're putting down have weight, you've got an idea of where it's more likely to end up. But even if all the things are on one side, you might still spin it and it randomly ends up with all the heavy things on the top. Good morning, Alex. Just talking about Connect for Spin, which, as I said on Twitter, it reminds me of Crazy Farmers and the Closers Electriques, which is a very different feeling game, but it excited me because it's basically an abstract strategy game with these cards that add in a little bit of randomness, a little bit of hidden information, a little bit of uncertainty, a bit more excitement. And Connect for Spin, sure, it doesn't have any of the hidden information, And to an extent, it's actually more strategic. It's kind of, in a sense, it reminds me of backgammon because it is a strategic game with, sure, there's chance along the way, but you can see all the possibilities potentially. And Connect for Spin, that was an absolute delight. I lost it more times than I won. I think we ended up at 6-3. I started keeping count halfway through. And I would happily play it for a day and just enjoy exploring the possibilities. The other things I played yesterday, we played a game by my friend Stephen, which was originally inspired by Kitty Cataclysm. The first time I played this, I felt very uncomfortable because legally Stephen could publish it, but 70% of the cards were based like it was basically a reskin. But more and more, it's come its own way. It's become different. Now there's a garden, which is where you place cards face down and you're swapping them around, and this is how you get points. On my encouragement, Stephen has focused on the things that make it different and is moving away from the things that make it the same. And it feels like a really nice, exciting game of, hey, you've got a tiny number of cards in your hand. Which ones are you going to put down into your garden for points? Which ones are you going to play for their effects? And a healthy dose of randomness. Going from randomness to zero randomness, a game, this is not the title of the game, but a game about making shapes to get superpowers, to make bigger shapes, to get better powers, to make the biggest shape to win the game. So this is a fairly in-depth, perfect information strategic game, and I played it a few times now, and the last few times that I played it, a couple of times on Sunday, once yesterday, there's not been any criticisms, there's not been any rule changes. I've just been thinking, okay, is the number of cubes appropriate? Is the board size appropriate? That's what I'm focusing on. So it really feels like playing around in the margins. And it feels like the game is done because after every game, you know, people are inspired. Even when I walked away and then came back 10 minutes later, people who played it on Sunday at the playtest were still discussing their strategies and what they would have done differently. So that's a really good sign. And Joost mentioned, wow, I wasn't expecting this at all. Rob mentioned it was a departure for me because, yes, I am better known for party games, and this is definitely not a party game. There's no hilarity or, there's no speed, there's no subjectivity, there's no empathy for other humans. It's entirely about the mechanisms. And it's a bit more complex than Go. I mean, I'm not aspiring to make Go because Go already exists, but I'm really excited by it. I feel like it's done. People, before they start the game, typically ask, are you going to have variable superpowers for variable setup? And in the past, I responded no. Well, when I say in the past, I mean for the last 2 times it's been asked. And I felt like, yeah, these are the superpowers that are best for the game. But last night, I thought, okay, let me try and work out what would be an alternative set of superpowers. What could I imagine? Is there something that would work at least almost as well and genuinely feel different? I mean, given that it's only 6 cards and it's a bit of text on 6 cards, and then you put your cubes on that card, and so each time you make that shape and remove it, you kind of store up that superpower to use anytime in the future. Yeah, if it was actually printed, then that would be a thing that I could um, give to people. Like, yeah, I don't think I could self-publish it, even in a very small level. It might. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd ask Rob, like, how much would it cost to make 50 or 100 of these? Because again, it is a departure for me. I don't know if I could sell them, but I would love to think of a publisher who is up for helping me make this a reality and sharing it with people. Because I think that there's a lot to explore. It's fairly intuitive, and yeah, Alex says it sounds like a nice flexible system. Well, it is, but at the same time, all the shapes and the balance of the superpowers needs to be really on point, because let's say there's a line of three in the default game. That line of three is place an additional one if you make that line of three. So you're getting rid of your line of three to place one wherever you want at some point in the future. But then if you make line of four, that has to be more than, it has to be place three, because by making the line of four a place three, that means that it's worth you, if you've got the line of three, using an existing line of three power to then place one, and you get a bonus more than just the one. So it has to go one free. I mean, there had to be a lot of pondering about the balance, which feels actually totally on point currently. But yeah, maybe things don't need to be perfectly. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes today. Other than that, brilliant thing. What's the little thing which is brilliant? Brilliant thing is walking and mobile phones. I'm currently walking just north of the river and walking down the street, and thanks to mobile phone, I can chat to you all. And yeah, over to you. What? No. Yeah, let me skip to over to you. What are you up to? You can share a button if you want to. So, what are you doing? I am going to go playtest. I'm going to playtest a totally new party game that I developed, I'm going to say. Originally an LDEC game submission. I spoke to the person. We made quite a few changes since it was originally submitted, and decided that this isn't best as an LDEC game. And I have been asking them if they are happy for us to become co-designers on it. They said yes. So I am now trying a completely separate system. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but you could call it a word game in the same way that Codenames is a word game. It's about definitions of things and kind of more like categorical, closer to that than a word, certainly not a word creation game. And it needs a lot of topic cards. But yeah, I'm going to try that. Might try out my abstract game. Going to playtest some things of other people's. I don't know what I'll be playing, but I'm just excited to be here. Going to get ready for Essen, buy some stuff, arrange some appointments, send off some information to Jack so that Jay can help me finish my own game. And I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, I've got to do some drawing. I might do that tomorrow morning. So, yeah, that's it. For now, if you want to check me out, I'm stuff my beds in all the places. And lots of love. And as always, bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song to do. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. It says, oh, that sounds lovely. Have a lovely day. And bye-bye to you. Bye-bye.